Hey guys, welcome to the Waterlad podcast presented to you by Betcha. Here's a little sample of what's to come in this episode.
I was signed at 17 by the Broncos, sort of had everything, and I just felt a lack of purpose and an emptiness inside, and I sacrificed my prime years. I was learning the game of rugby, you know what I mean? You know, you're just there like, far out, I just suck, and I can't do anything right, and it's about dominating. 4 years it took me to master that, and then it's game over, completely different mindset, different animal. Just go around like a hunter in games, sort of like, no, yes, bang. All of a sudden, it was like, I was born for this. This is what I do. Because no one's there, you can go easy if you want. You could just cruise it. There's the test, there's the challenge. If I felt ill, tired, a little bit sickly, I ran harder. That was my mindset. That's the sort of animal, I become. The worst thing is...
What a lad, what a lad, what a lad, what an absolute lad.
Well, often I can be caught exaggerating a bit in some of these intros, but there is no need for exaggeration when I say today's guest is widely regarded as the greatest crosscode athlete to have ever laced up the boots, and his list of achievements speaks for itself. He's won 3 NRL titles, a Super League title, a State of Origin, a World Club Challenge, 2 NPC titles, a Ranfurly Shield, a Super Rugby title, a Heineken Cup, 5 Bledisloe Cups, 3 Tri-Nations, 2 Grand Slams, and a Rugby World Cup. Post-playing, he's also head coached the Reds, which capped off a 30-year professional career in either code. But it's not just about the victories, it's the way he carried himself, his professionalism and mindset, which made him the highly respected teammate that he was, and he had a massive impact on so many players around the world. He literally is one of the all-time greats. It is, of course, the great Brad Thorn. Welcome, mate.
Too kind, James. Far out. That's I don't get that at home when I wake up in the morning.
You should.
Go and get the dishes done. Go and do this. It's nice.
But that's definitely the biggest list of achievements I've ever had to read out on a podcast intro. It's seriously impressive. You know
how I've been doing? I've been doing a few chats and that.
Yeah.
And I think when you're amongst it, while I was in that career, as a teenager, sitting against the wall of my house, my dog, dreaming big and that, you should have just doing it. And the way of the competitor is he just looks for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. You talk to anyone, you're probably the same. A lot of people will say, I wish during it I maybe enjoyed it more, But it's actually not the way of the competitor. He looks for the next mountain or the next thing to achieve. But having done these chats, it is pretty cool. And I've kept saying, I dream big, but I didn't dream that big. And I thank God that he gave me those opportunities. And to be, main part of it was just the people that were involved. Just how cool that is. But looking at it, talking, during this last month or so, it is pretty crazy. And so the question now is, what's the next 10, 20, 30 years? Because now I can't just go, hey, there's a bit of pressure. I'm going to go climb a mountain or something, do something. So,
Well, but one thing I've liked at doing this podcast is your name comes up a lot. Like you've had an influence or impact on a lot of people's careers throughout their time. Everyone has their own Brad Thorn story. I remember Chris Jack the other week talking around his story around when you came into the Crusaders environment. 46 kg dumbbells were not enough and you gave Big Ash Jones a spray around. Where's the 46 kg dumbbells? All these sort of memories that come back. Do you remember that one?
I can tell you about that one. Yeah. With the dumbbells, the thing, I can be a cheeky guy. It wasn't 46s, it was 76s. But the deal was this: Ash Jones was at the Reds gym, and there's these big, went up to 50s or might have gone up to 65, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now they're hard to get up.
Yeah.
But we had this really cool thing where you sit on this thing, rock it forward, and and you could bench it. So I used to do my 65s. I'd be pumping them out. I was pretty, pleased with that. Anyway, me and DC, Dan Carter, he was
Yeah.
a good fun guy. He loved his gym and sort of banter as well. He can come across quite reserved guy, but he's a real character, DC. And there was these a set of dumbbells that were like old school. They were like concrete looking ones,
Oh,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
steel sort of plated ones, and it like had heaps on each side. It was like 76 kilo. And I just said to Ash, the trainer, those ones there, why do we have those ones, or why are they different? And Ash said, Jones, the strength trainer, said there's in every gym there should be dumbbells that no one can lift.
Oh,
That's the law of the gym. I go, oh, okay, that's right up my alley. Me and DC are there, and he's with me. And I go to Ash, okay, what quantifies them being lifted? He said, well, 2 reps is you can.
Yeah.
So I go, okay, me and DC. So I get these 76s, and we like load them on, and I get out. You know, when they get bigger, it's actually not as hard. It's not actually the press. It's like
Getting them up.
Yeah,
you
that's
need
the
someone to
hardest
lift
thing.
them up.
So you know when you bring the dumbbells down, like these things are like 7 or something long. You should have just gone like this, try not to tear it. Yeah, tear it, yeah. So anyway, I pump out 2, and I went back to Ash and said, you need to buy some more dumbbells. So yeah, that was that was a bit fun. Yeah. Always, mate, I love the gym.
Yeah.
And I love people. You said there's people who've talked to you about me. It's probably my biggest, one of my biggest things. I love God, but I love, I love people, and I love seeing people achieve. But I love the connection. I love the banter. For me is the fun, the cheekiness is how you connect. So I love the gym. I've always loved the gym. Always a strong kid. Always like the strongest kid in my class or grade or whatever. I love strength things, power, So in the gym, it's like all my things come together. I've got the gym, strutting around, like carrying on, lifting 10, bantering, and having fun. And obviously there's other times, a lot of time you're actually serious.
Yeah.
It's not on, but it is good to have some fun.
Yeah. The other one that reminded me about was when Lawrence Collette, I'm not sure if you remember Lawrence Collette, but him telling.
I remember Lawrence. He played at Christchurch, and he's a good soldier. He came through as a hooker, I think.
Yeah.
And I thought he's one of those players, maybe get a chance later on to talk. Some guys I think would suit league as well. I always thought he'd suit league as well.
True. He told the story around when he invited you around to his house and said you ate everything, and they cooked a big pumpkin lasagna.
Oh, anyone that knows me, anyone would know me would laugh at that, because I've seen that. And, you're right. It's like I wasn't prepared for pumpkin. I can eat a lot of stuff. Like when I was in Japan, example. Sometimes I'll take the hit because my wife has sense of smell on that. I used to do all the nappies.
Oh, yeah,
I was the poo man. We had 8 years because I
really
3 under 3, and they didn't get our nappies till like 2 or 3 years old.
The sensitive smells are good.
There's 16 kilo plus just hanging, and food and that. So when we were in Japan, she was doing full contact karate. Oh, she was really enjoying it. But we went and had a thing, and we went into like a get together at their dojo, and where there were families and that.
Yeah.
And they put food in front of us that looked like, some crazy stuff. And so I can just eat it. Even though I don't like
natto beans
I
and
can
all
just,
those.
I can just take the hit, mate. But yeah, the pumpkin, well, that's, I didn't like that for my grandma. Give me pumpkin. It's just poor man's mashed potato. Like, why have pumpkin when you have mashed potato? It's awesome. So yeah, it's got this spread of like, all this pumpkin lasagna. Come on, man. I'm an alpha. I want meat. No. But
so good.
Yeah, it's funny. So yeah, I'm just trying my best, and God bless her. His lady was a lovely lady. He was a great guy, and we had good times. Lawrence got some time, I think, around the Canterbury BC team, and all those guys, I love. I was getting older and older, so I've always had a soft spot for the younger guys or guys coming through.
Yeah.
Never been one of those guys, where he's like sort of, you get those dudes that are old school hard on them.
Yeah.
I will do that if they need a tune up, but generally I'm protective and I look out for the young guys.
Yeah.
And I'll connect and have fun and have a laugh because I am a big kid. I'm a big kid at heart.
Yeah.
My dad was the same as well. So, but I always connect well with the young guys and have a lot of fun usually with them. Like I said, if guys need a tune up and it's hurting our cause, just like I myself got tuned up at different times.
Yeah.
Do the same.
I always remember you mentioned it before around the connection and the ability to connect with all people, but that's always my memory of you at the Tasamako and your 1 weekend where you came into the environment. But dinner, breakfast, lunch, there was always like 4 or 5 people around you and you'd stay for half an hour after each meal, still telling stories, still joking and laughing. And one thing that I always remembered about you coming in for that week.
Yeah, even like, if I do like, sometimes if I do, say, speaking at something or often I don't just like nick off at the supposed time. Because I enjoy talking to people, you know what I mean? You do get to a time, I heard the definition of an introvert is an extrovert gets energy from being around people, an introvert, they need their own time.
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely an introvert where I do need space.
Yeah.
I've got 4 kids at home. It's crazy. It's loud. My wife's Maltese-Irish. It's great energy, but I do need my quiet time. I like being in the gym, lifting in my house gym, or I walk my dog. I go out. I love going out to the beach with my dog, or just quiet downtime, listen to music. I've always needed that. But on the other side of that, just love people, love just engaging and I love seeing people do well and achieve. And I guess as you go along your career, it's 22 years. It could have been like 3, 4 years from retirement. I was playing with guys who weren't born, when I started playing, So you had things to offer, encouragement sometimes. A big one I often felt like with guys was just giving them some belief. So, hey, you can do this. It's not even actually, you didn't have some gold nugget of advice. It was just maybe being someone they might respect a bit or something. So the power of saying you believe in them, can really have an impact.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So all that sort of stuff and,
And it was your dad who sort of gave that to you?
He was a big kid, inside, but also a hard worker, all these sort of things. Had a pretty tougher upbringing, but this is why we were so tight. Me and my dad, and fortunate you would have heard, I lost him just before I turned 20, and but once again wasn't afraid to square me up. Couple of times had to get in my face too, like you're a teen. I was, there's this time, how old are your kids, mate?
10, 7, 5 and 1.5.
So you've got 3?
4 boys.
Four boys,
yeah.
So so when you get to that 10 to those teenage years, you can get a little bit crunchy.
Yeah.
There'll be, there's strong, Thorns were strong personalities, so you are not crushing them.
Yeah.
You just trying to get them in the right direction. Yeah. So Dad was like that with me. You want that strong mind going into life with your kids. You want them to be strong-minded, but it's, they get to a point where they know everything and,
I feel like that, my 10-year-old's there already, it gets to that point, eh?
The one that challenged me, because in my playing career, sometimes you saw me, maybe see a bit of red, at different times, but if they were disrespect to their mother, I didn't take that well.
Yeah.
So that's when it could get,
It's the boundary
Yeah, there's
that you
a
don't cross.
yeah, you're sort of asserting authority. So everyone's in their own household has their ways.
Yeah.
But generally a lot of it's uh, just great stuff and a lot of love, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely as a father, it's an important role. My dad played a massive important role in 19 odd years. He pumped absolute goodness into me.
Mm.
And me and my father, we'd salute him like, job done, Dad. I was just turning 20. My brother was just turning 22. Obviously, we want him around for grandkids, weddings, all these sort of things, but we were ready equipped for life. And sometimes you let us fail. Sometimes, they need to you need to pick yourself up. You need to, it's like refining young
Yeah.
character. And so, yeah, I dip my hat to my father. He's sadly missed. But, as a Christian, I have a faith that he's with God and I'll see him again. But, we've been living. Me and my brother, we've been living and
Yeah.
looked out for mum so much is taken from him.
Yeah. In your book, you mentioned the pivotal time in sort of your career where you were sort of cruising along in your career and your dad pulled you aside and had that word and
Yeah,
took you on the forest run, and that was
yeah,
a bit of a life-changing moment
yeah,
for you, eh?
yeah, that was key. Yeah, just it was time to. I was talented the whole way. I was a big, fast, strong sort of kid. I'd been playing. I made state AFL as a 12-year-old. I was
Alright.
actually going to pursue that.
Yeah.
A guy called, I used to played in that team with a guy called Michael Voss. You may not have heard of him in New Zealand, but he's like he won 3 titles with the Brisbane Lions and another guy, Shake at Cockatoo Collins. So we're a good side. The Queensland team just got beaten by Victoria in the state championships, all this sort of stuff. But my mates after school played league, and that's why I played league. I went to a state school and it wasn't a private school, so I played league. And yeah, I pursued, went through with my league, but as I was getting older, other kids start putting in effort and talent. You know how talent can take you so far? Yeah, it just wasn't gonna. It got to a point where I was 16 where I wasn't pushing through to that next level, to Queensland level and league, and I had the ability in that. Yeah, so Dad hadn't a bit of enough, had a run he did, and he just he squared me up in the kitchen. We just come home. I hadn't fronted at a rep game, just sort of, guys you just hold back and stuff.
Yeah.
When I should have been tearing it apart, 6'4", 95 kilo guy with speed, physicality. So yeah, he just got me to do. So there's a run in State Forest that was basically hill sprints, fart leg style, where anything flat or down, you keep jogging. That was his
Yeah.
That's what he told me I was to do, and he wasn't asking, he's telling. And if I wasn't going to do it, he wasn't going to give me lifts anymore because he's a practical guy. Like, he was working hard, even aside from helping me, just as a guy getting things done. He had time for not going all the way down here to see you not achieve.
Yeah.
So there's a ruthlessness as well
Yeah.
around it. I'm not going to waste my time doing this stuff if you're not going to front. So I did that run, and halfway through the run, the hairs on the back of my neck were sort of standing up. It's just weird, eh? Why would that happen? And I remember stopping and saying out loud, "This feels good," and I just felt, like I was standing there in a state forest by myself, but I felt like, when there's a real cool energy in a big crowd,
Yeah.
felt like I wasn't, I know it sounds crazy or weird, but it just felt like I wasn't by myself.
Yeah.
I just felt awesome, and went back, and then the real test was, would I do it again a couple of days later? Because I used to cycle like 8.5K into school and 8.5K back, and I'd be playing touch footy and all sorts. So I'd be knackered, and so I had excuses in my mind to not do it. But that second that I got to a couple afternoons later, I said, I'm going to do it again. and then it's game over. Completely different mindset, different animal. All of a sudden, you got talent, and along comes work ethic.
Yeah.
And then if you have those two there, you get, I got reward where I made the state side for the first time. And then belief, I was talking before about belief.
Yeah.
Well, my father helped install that, but yeah, belief when I made that team. And I just, how we're saying the list of all those things, I'll just sit down the side of the house because we didn't have phones or anything.
Mm.
Could read a book, could get on my bike. Because I lived 8.5K away, all my mates were sort of in another suburb and that. So I was often just chilling out. I was out where I was.
Mm.
And it's just, these days you'd call it pretty wise. You're goal setting, or
Yeah.
I would just be doing it in my mind. And I was the sort of guy that as a kid, I love my Star Wars men or my Cowboys and Indians even earlier. So I have in my mind, I've always been a deep thinker and I'll be playing, for an hour.
Yeah.
So like sitting down the side of the house, I'd be thinking, I'm going to do this, or I want to do that, do this, that. I think that was a cool thing when you look back on it, because, with the forest run, I did that from the age of 16. I did that when I went to the Broncos. I even did it because I didn't feel I was fit enough. I had 2 days in the week, Tuesday, Thursday, where we do a morning session, weights and skills, and then in the afternoon we do fitness and just rugby league stuff in the afternoon. Because I didn't feel fit enough, I was playing first grade at 19, I would go back out to Thorny Creek, do my run.
Yeah.
And no one would know about it. I wouldn't tell them. And then I'd do that on Thursday as well. And then finally, I felt like I had maybe just even toughening up to be able to play 80 minutes, because it was 80 minutes back then. And then, I got to a space where I didn't feel I needed it. And then I had a run that I did when I went to rugby, because you didn't have hills in Canterbury.
Yeah.
So I did this thing, like soccer field run, I called it, where I did 10 laps. And it was fartlek, where I jogged the length, sprint the ends.
Oh, yeah.
But at each corner I do push-ups or burpees, 5 push-ups, 5 burpees. And I do that for 10 laps, sprinting the ends. He used to knacker me.
Yeah.
And that was sort of my hill run, my forest run in New Zealand.
Yeah. Did you see that as your sort of point of difference? What made you as good as you were? Like, not everyone or no one else was doing that. You saw that as your edge?
All the champions do, though.
Yeah.
Shane Webke had a run, he did.
Yeah. Okay.
Petro, Richie will have, like,
Yeah.
the good guys do. Like, you hear about Kobe Bryant, like, doing, you like your basketball, like Michael Jordan, or they do. It's probably a bit corny, but champions do extra. Which is, they don't do less, they don't do sort of, they do extra stuff, and it's quality, So, but even at the end of my All Black career, when I was in my 30s, I'd bring my family back after the season to Brisbane to stay with my mum, and we go up the coast and stuff. But and I'd have the full month of December free, just to relax, playing with my kids and stuff. But in January, we didn't have to come back to sort of late January. I would do, the forest. I'd do at least one, just out of respect, because that run almost became like a mentor.
Yeah.
Like, when something, I know it's just this track in a forest, but to me it was like holy land, when I went there.
Yeah.
It knew me before I was anything. I was a 16 kid, didn't know what to do, how to, just didn't know. Dad sent me over there. It knew me as a Bronco and come to all these places, and I ended up running it. My son ran it a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's almost like this, got its own sort of, don't know how to sort of explain it, but almost like a mentor to me, this track. And that's when you do things so often. It's like when I go into a gym, if I do a stretch routine, I'm big into stretching and stuff. It's almost like I'm hanging out with a friend. These things that you do, because you've done them so often, and they almost it's weird how it's almost like hanging out with a familiar friend. If I do my stretching routine now, or if I'm in the gym, or if I do a run. So, I'm rambling on, but yeah.
It's interesting. Is your son caught the bug on the run?
Oh, my kids are older now, so he does sports science. He's in his final year.
Sweet.
But I'm tight with my boys,
Yeah.
One's in the military, one's doing some landscaping. So yeah.
Cool. Did your sports scientist ever hit you up about your run, or did you ever get into conflict with the trainers around doing too much, or
I didn't
you obviously
tell them.
did extra?
I didn't tell them, and as the Reds head coach.
I was going to say that must have been a
well. Sometimes I
time
remember I might have been Tate McDermott or someone. I was sort of like, because you've got your staff your staff are your team.
Yeah.
On the other side of the game, and they're my guys, and then you got the players, but you don't want to be going against your staff, S&C, but you sort of, all, like I said, all great players or usually have something they do.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, how like a good S&C needs to know if you're doing extra stuff or whatever. So,
goes against the book.
It's sort of like, I sort of had a run I used to do. Most champions usually have something that they do.
Yeah. And it was
just put that out there. Do it the way you want.
I guess it was the fact that you would do it by yourself, and you were very self reliant. Like you weren't relying on anyone to motivate you or push you, and I think that's
huge.
I guess definitely your point of difference, and don't see it as often in the game at the moment.
Huge, because training on your own, no one's there. No one's at the end of it going, like when I did those forest runs at 16, I didn't have an Instagram account. Hey, I just finished this, or there wasn't someone who went, oh, good work, Brad. You did your run today. No one's there. No one cares. It's awesome. And the side of that is, because no one's there, you can go easy if you want.
Yeah.
You could just cruise it. There's the test, there's the challenge. Do you know what I mean? So when I did that run, and I became a different animal, my mindset was, when I got to those runs, I felt like peeing, pooing and spewing all at once, I go to a dark place, and it was hill runs, big hills.
Yeah.
And I'm pushing myself to the limit. If I felt ill, tired, a little bit sickly, I ran harder. That was my mindset. One reason was my dad used to say with sickness, he said, run it out, son. Just run it out. Just for the people who are listening, I felt like I hate vomiting or, that sort of sickness.
Yeah.
And, it can go through a house. And my brother was vomiting. Like, I almost leave the house. I don't want to part of that. Anyway, I could feel something coming on. I'm thinking, this would be after Dad's passed away. I'm thinking, I'm going to run it out. I did this run. I'm just going, came home, spewed all in the shower, had the worst night, probably made it so much worse for myself. So it doesn't work on everything. That's what I'm trying to say. But, what was I can't even want to say. What was I saying?
Running by yourself.
Running by yourself. Yeah. That's the awesome part of it, because in the game of footy, are you one of those guys that sort of is a weight that needs other guys to lift them, or it's getting tough now, or, it gets tough, I'm bailing out? Or are you a guy that, I would like to think I was, you don't have to worry about me. I'm lifting others.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So.
Did you feel like that even as a young guy coming into the Broncos side, like on debut, your first season, were you feeling like?
I was ruthlessly pursuing my goals.
Yeah, okay.
So, to go inside, 3 years ago by the time I was 19, I played in season. I was signed at 17 by the Broncos, but there was a competition, Queensland, BRL, Brisbane Rugby League.
Yeah.
So I played men's first grade as an 18-year-old and learned some good lessons there. So I'd already played with men, but, Thorns, we're pretty cheeky, have fun. You can be pretty cocky too, Scottish heritage, but the belief I had was, off the charts because I've been, 3 years of training and, sitting down in the house, the side of the house. I remember saying to Dad, I just need one shot. I just remember sitting across from him at dinner out of suburbs, Brisbane, Ormond Creek, just saying, sitting here saying, I need one shot, and it's 10 years.
Yeah. And you genuinely believe that?
I knew, I didn't believe it. I knew it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's fact.
Yeah.
Go and read it in a book somewhere, That's the sort of animal, I become. And this is Broncos first grade, Alan Lang, Glenn Lazarus, all these guys. But that was my mindset. And,
never intimidated by them going in?
I was around. I used to I always battle a little bit of anxiety, which is a hard one because I love people and that's sort of like this reverse. I love people, but I sometimes battle in a group of people. So, but Wayne Bennett's authoritarian. He could have a laugh too, but when you're a young guy, pretty intimidating. They were back-to-back title winners, 92, 93. So, so a little bit nervous, but I had this other side of me that was like ruthless, pursuing, bite, scratch, fight my way to the top. You know what I mean? And when they called my name, I'd already played reserve grade. Used to play, and then you would sit on the bench for first grade. Pretty much the very trial game, I was already, would have been 18 in the trial game, so I was already sitting on the bench straight away. So by the time I got on, I've been sitting there for over 12 games.
Yeah.
And we weren't having the best season. I'm thinking, where's my shot? I'd see other guys get going. When they called my name, whole head gets hot. Just like, bring it, That's my mindset. It's not like, oh, how's it going to go? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
That's how I felt. My first All Black call up. I was a pretty experienced pro by then, in fairness. But, I just feel, I guess my mindset was like, I was born for this. This is what I do. There's other things I don't do, but this I do.
How did you not let that get, you obviously would have been going well your first year, the ego side of it, you're confident. How do you not let an 18, 19-year-old kid let that go too far? Like you see a lot of young guys, had James O'Connor on, these sort of guys who jump into the spotlight at a young age and sort of go off the rails a little bit. But how did you stay so grounded, I guess?
Well, from the age of 19, 20, there's 4 years there. I call them the mush years for a reason, because I wouldn't say I was handling it that well, So I was like anyone else. I was never into drugs or anything. That's just we don't. They were the bad guys on TV. In the 80s.
Yeah,
Miami Vice and all these other things. We didn't. Thorns, we don't do that. But I liked knocking them back, and
you could drink quick too, by all accounts.
Yeah, I was.
Jug Skull of Doom.
I was a guy who could knock them back, because I was competitive. It goes into your drinking, and I was, in most ways, I was a consumer, so I was hitting it hard, and there's a lot of stuff that goes with that that's not great, to be honest. But taking advantage of all the womanizing, all the stuff that goes with that, and led to emptiness really in the end. But we had a saying in league: train hard, play hard, party hard.
Yeah.
And there's drunk, and then there's league drunk. So have you heard that before?
Different level.
So there's a lot of young folk are knocking around like that, aren't they?
Yeah. How'd you get out of
it? Basically faith.
Yeah.
That if you go jump forward, Super League come along, all of a sudden I'm getting paid 150 grand a year from started at 5,200 when I went to the Broncos I think I was 19, to 40 grand because I played first grade as a 19-year-old, and then the following year, 150, so 300K over 2 years.
Yeah.
And I had a sponsor car with my name on it in my driveway, and go to any pub, and egos like.
Yeah.
But I was playing Origin at 21, and the Broncos 19, Origin 21.
Hard not to have an ego.
Aussie at 22, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's all about me. And that style of, I trained on my own. I had that mindset sitting down Albany Creek. I told you I was dreaming big. Even my dad, I remember him saying, for your, as a junior, for your team to win today, you need to play well. So almost isolating me a bit.
Yeah.
Which was good for me. We were, it helped me, I need to lead and crack on. But, see how it's a little bit of a singular mindset.
Yeah.
Even my uncle came over, and this is before I'd sort of had that sort of click moment, and he's saying, when you go to rep carnivals, the opposition or the competition isn't actually the other team. It's you need the ball.
Yeah.
You know how you need to show your wares.
Yeah.
So
was that different? I could
be a little
rugby?
bit. Sorry, mate.
Was that different when you went to rugby? Like, obviously, like league can be a lot about your carry,
your hit ups
carry.
and stuff. Yeah.
When you went to rugby, did you feel like you had to change your mindset there a little bit to be more? You're doing the unseen stuff now, like pushing and all that stuff that no one sees.
Yeah, I'd changed. It frustrated me in rugby that to work on my skill sets, I had to work with all these other to work on a scrum or a line out or whatever.
Together,
kick off receipts, because I like to just go away and do it 10,000 times. Immediately.
Yourself,
I'll do it over. I don't care how many it takes.
Yeah.
And I had to, which is, if I think about my personality, team sport was great for me because I probably could have really suited us, maybe tennis or something that was singular, maybe 100 sprint or something. But I might have been an arsehole.
Yeah.
Because the team game makes you, you got to work together, and you know what I mean? So it's good for, that's why team sport's great for kids' development and character and people in general.
Yeah.
So it was very good for me, but rugby forced that on me, but my faith, I'd already sort of changed and tact, because when I became a Christian, I had that year where I sort of, those 4 years, I got to a space where I sort of had everything, and I just felt a lack of purpose and an emptiness inside. And, the lifestyle I was living, initially I was probably feeling a bit down, but I had a pretty good upbringing. But the worst part was just feeling nothing about it, And if you think of blokes, we sort of, talk brash around things, but if you think you do the most intimate thing you can do with another human being and it means nothing, you just feel nothing, just cardboard, it didn't, it had an effect, all that sort of lifestyle. And I thought about God, and I went on a tour, played for Australia, and we played a 3-test tour in Great Britain, and there was a Christian guy called Jason Stevens. You heard of him?
Yeah.
He's a front rower. Yeah, we used to bash it out. He's a big guy. We had a chat. We had a really good tour, dominant. We won the 2 games to 1 against Great Britain. Him and I played well as a front row, and we had a chat, and one time, and he just asked me my stance on, God or Christians or whatever. And I just said, look, they're nice people. I'm a loose unit. One day when I'm a nice person, I'll be one. But at the moment, I don't want to be a hypocrite, whatever. And he basically said, you need Jesus in your life. And that was something I think I was ready to hear. I'd sort of grown up at church before we moved to Australia, and then we didn't go for like 7-8 years, and then mum and dad ended up, because they had a neighbour come back, and that I'd be going along, but I'm sort of first person to leave at the end of it. Sits at the back. And when Jason said that, I'm sure I would have, I know I heard that lots, but yeah, there's a saying that the teacher will arrive when the student is ready to learn, and I like that saying. And
Yeah.
I was ready to learn, and I went back from that tour and got even looser. Um, yeah, league loose. When I say league drunk and league drunk, and got to one morning, and I just thought, fallen a long way, and I'm sort of going down here.
Yeah.
And
Did you feel it affecting your rugby league?
I came up on best season.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I learnt, because I had all that stuff, and I achieved. I was hitting the gas hard in that, but I was young. I could
Yeah.
handle it. But it wasn't like my footy necessarily suffered. When I became a Christian, like, the footy was still good. The thing that changed, I think, when I started to care more about my teammates. That's
Yeah,
what I was
okay.
sort of telling you, asking, around that, where I started to, and when I came to the Crusaders, I actually generally cared more about my teammates, how they're going, and
Yeah.
all this sort of stuff. Whereas I could be ruthless those early days,
Yeah.
even if the team lost and I played well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love winning, but I was ruthless as well. Like, I was like me-centered more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas things changed where I was more, like I said, I cared about how God wanted me to live, and I cared about, um, the people I was with. The winning, the way you play footy, the winning and losing, but, just general in life as well. So,
Yeah, it's interesting, eh? And the more I look into your move to rugby, the more amazing it is. Like, you were playing for Australia, you're winning NRL title, State of Origin, and you decide to move to rugby out of sort of no, you hadn't played it since you were about 7 or something in
under
Mosgiel,
eights,
under
under
eights.
eights, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's not for more money, it's just for this desire to.
Well, Dad had that, had a chat to me where, because league, you didn't even have a choice to do that previously, because the league was professional. You couldn't go from that to rugby.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Rugby, people would get annoyed because our All Blacks and stuff, or we, go to, Craig Innes or something, go to
Yeah.
rugby to league, but you couldn't do it the other way around. But then there was word that the league, rugby is going to go pro, and in 1996 with Super Rugby, it did. Probably around 93, 92, the Springboks came back in around 93. I just remember Dad saying, like, if you get some stuff done in league, you could go back and have a crack. Because, he's born in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I was born in New Zealand. It's in our blood, and he said, if this game goes professional, and you get some stuff done, you go back. And I'm like locked in. I said, yeah, I see that. And 7 odd long years of playing for the Broncos, close to 150 games, playing Origin in Australia, whatever, all that sort of stuff happened. But I was always looking east, as far as that being there. And I didn't want to go at the end of my career when I was past it.
Yeah.
I wanted to go in my prime. I sacrificed my prime years to I was learning the game of rugby, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we got some stuff done in rugby league. Got to win 3 grand finals, play Origin, play for Australia, and all this sort of stuff. And even when I was 22, the initial couple of years of Super League, but I signed a 3-year contract till I was 25, and that was I knew 3 years out, going into that contract. I just want to be free then.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm going to go. I'll have a crack.
Jeez, and how was it when you went? Because I think you just won the NRL final. A couple of months later, you're playing in a Christchurch club game.
Would have been a few weeks later.
A few weeks later.
94,000 Stadium Australia. We had it early in August because the Olympics were in 2000.
Yeah.
So everything had to be finished in Australia 2 months leading into the Olympics, and it gave them a test. So they had extra seats, 94,000. I remember putting a hit on Matt Singh. Remember he scooted our dummy half in his own half. It led up to a turnover to our first try. I remember Matt Singh because I played. He's the same age as me. I played under 16s Queensland with him.
True.
He's in that team and 17s. He runs our dummy half towards me. I'm thinking, surely he's going to step. And he goes, and he keeps coming towards me. And I'm about 114 kilos, just wanting to smash, and I'm going, you're going to keep coming. Boom. You could do above, lift him above
horizontal,
at that time. And he lost the ball. And but the crowd, can you imagine 94,000? It was so cool. So, 2-3 weeks later, I'm playing for Metro, Christchurch Metro, but Canterbury Metro versus Canterbury Country. It's just like this game that they put together. It was out at Burnside. You know how there's there's no hill or anything. There's nothing. It's just grass. Could just be a park. And I love Burnside. I played for him. But and I went there and this dude's like with this shorty old mower mowing the sidelines because the grass is long. I just come from like elite. We'd won 3 titles, 97, 98, and then 2000, 99, we just made finals.
Yeah.
7-year pro career. And here I am.
Did you question
this guy's I'm going far out. I go into the sheds and I go, I need to strap because I don't know if you can see this. My fingers.
Oh, she told me about your
I never get injured. Yeah, did he tell you about that? Yeah. You know what? Roachy was right. Roachy, I had this finger here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
It's horrendous. This way I can't wear a wedding ring. But so the cost of having no injuries means I've had all these niggly ones.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the price, I think. But this finger was sitting like that. And Roachy comes out. He does a good rap. Have you heard him rap?
Yeah, he raps every team meeting.
Yeah. So he comes out and I'm like looking at it, you go, oh. So what I used to do was just like bang it, and then you look, and then it's back. But this thing was determined to stay out. It was real bad. And Roachy comes in, and maybe he's a bit intimidated by me, He
definitely was.
I'm pretty gruff and focused in game. I don't muck around. I'm pretty aggressive. I'm an aggressive mindset.
Yeah.
I'm like, and he's holding it really nicely, like this guy like this. I'm like, just pull it, mate. Just pull it. Like, get out of it. I'm flicking it. Then he ends up taping it, and he goes, Roachy goes, when you go, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Because when you go back to Christchurch, you need to see a hand specialist because, that could be a problem, I said, mate, look at these things. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. And now I walk around the rest of my life. Roachy, you're right. Yes. I should have seen a hand specialist. But, funny. But you know, we get these injuries. Like when I got that one, in rugby league, I'm not a huge fighter or anything, but, you can't defend yourself. They hurt for about a year.
Yeah.
So I'm practicing my left jab. Then I had that one. I go, at least I got my right. But in case, you had to defend yourself, the bloody sore tell you for a year.
Yeah.
Then they finally go away, and now I'm expecting some arthritic problems.
Oh, it's so fun. Was that always part of your mentality too, around like staying out of the physio room or like not letting anyone see you in the physio room?
I was old school with that stuff.
Yeah.
So, trying to remember our physio's name, the Crusaders. I've forgotten. I saw him recently, but I just tell him straight up. I said, you won't see me, mate. So I was very thorough. Like I only went to them if I really needed them. Sometimes I felt like guys would go to them just for a cuddle or a chat or whatever.
Yeah.
I was still like, I ain't got time for injuries.
Yeah.
I'm trying to achieve stuff. So, I was, from before people were doing ice bars, I used to get sore arms from my lifting and that. I'd be icing. This is when I was like 20, 21 or stretching. This is my asset and, all that strength training and stuff. It's good for so many things, flushing blood through your body, healing your muscles, flexibility, obviously your strength and power. It meant that a lot of times I'm coming out on collisions, I'm coming out in a good way. Do you know what I mean? When I first played rugby league as a 19-year-old, I was like about 103 kilo. So same frame, same height and all that. Remember playing weight in rugby's about 118.
Yeah.
And hard-bodied, fit, but so that's a lot lighter, isn't it, for a big frame. But, I remember and I used to run into the teeth, because that's what my job is, but also, showing the guys you're tough enough to be it. And I couldn't get a hit up because you had Glenn Lazarus and all these guys. There's a pecking order to getting a hit up.
Who gets the run?
So when they used to, what I worked out was when they kick it, if I run real fast back, the Wendell the winger, Wendell might have been one of them, McHancock, do a scoop, but I'm there for that next one because those big dogs are still sort of jogging back. But the thing was that run was one of the toughest runs into the teeth. After the game, I'd feel pretty sore, but I was also boozing and stuff as well. So when I had a break from alcohol when I was 26, where after 3 years of become a Christian, I just realized I felt like God said, you need to walk away from it. During that, I had about a 6-year break. I felt like after games, I felt like I played touch footy or crazy. We playing Super Rugby games, test matches for the Broncos League. And I just feel like, I played a game of tennis or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
Just felt so good.
Yeah, and massive advantage compared to everyone else.
In that era, I'm sure there's lots of guys that don't drink now, but I never used to, because I was winning a lot of collisions, I never really got injured in my life.
It's crazy.
As a kid, hardly either.
It's the fingers.
After the games, the games, I just felt so conditioned, so strong in your prime. That you recovered really well.
Yeah. So you were this big athlete, you had all the attributes physically, going to rugby union. How hard was that sport to learn, especially as a second row? Like it's very different to a second row.
It was the learning of it. The learning of the game was hard, and you have to do repetitive to the point where it becomes instinctive. You've done league since you were 11, or you've done these other things, but everyone's at a pretty good space, aren't they? Otherwise, not playing for Canterbury, are they? So, but the big part was just the mindset of, I missed home a bit. I realised I was a homeboy, at 25. Me and my brother had always, one of us at least, been home to be around mum, but it was time for me at 25. Mum understood, she went over. She's a nurse. She did some nursing in England while I was away. I went over and I was in a one-bedroom apartment on Colombo Street, and, I'd been in my prime. If I want to make an impact on a game, I can do it. Now I'm like just this battler. And everyone's being helpful. I thought you need to do this, you need to do that. But after a while, that just drives you nuts. You know what I mean? That what's that movie? What's that movie? I used to be somebody or something like this. I don't know what movie or something from. But you're just there like far out. I just suck and I can't do anything right. And on TV and commentators look at he's battling here or there. Hardest ones on the field, you get the look in the eyes from the guys. You're sort of costing the team. You're hurting the team. They're sort of looking at you. This league guy. Remember, relations weren't necessarily that great between league and union. Back in the early days. So, there was the learning of it, and there was just the cultural things of the Crusaders. Even just the smell of the joint. It's just different. When a dog is comfortable in his own patch, but then he goes somewhere else and he's not in his own neighborhood and he feels a bit awkward. Sort of like that. And yeah, it finally got to a place. I had a good chat with my brother. I went back to after Super Rugby, had a good chat with him, and I was just saying, I'm battling, I'm doing it tough. And he's like, you got the ITM NPC coming up.
Yeah.
Go back, throw the kitchen sink at it, and then you can. I had like this one. I signed for 1 year, but there was an option for 2 more.
Oh, okay.
And so I was doing that year no matter what. But he said at least you could walk away from rugby after that knowing you're giving your all, but it wasn't meant to be, or maybe it will be. And it was just a good little encouragement from my brother.
If you hadn't had that convo, do you think you would have?
I would have gone back
Oh, would you?
and done the year no matter what I was in. I knew that was important when I went across. And the 3 questions were, do I like rugby? Am I any good at it? And do I like New Zealand? And after Super Rugby, they'll all know.
Oh, true.
Yeah. And I wasn't good at rugby. I was coming on for 4 minutes one game.
Yeah.
Came on for 40 minutes or 14, that was tough. I was a starter, you're making errors. I was felt like I was a guy who could change a game in league, with a big head or a good run or something.
Yeah.
So I thank God it humbled me. And I consider it one of the most important years of my life as a 26-year-old. And that time I had in my 1-bedroom apartment, as far as my faith, it brought me closer to God because I didn't have distraction. I was feeling pretty down. I spent time reading the Bible and different things like that. And over time, when I went back, they changed me from number 8, which is pretty technical connection with the backs. They put me to lock, and the scrum and the front rowers were sort of like a real first connection because the front rowers are my sort of guys.
Yeah.
In league, you got the middle, got the right and the left. Those terminology, they call them middles.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 front rowers, one of the second rowers, and a hooker. I was that sort of guy in league. And in union, that's like the front rowers, the tight 5. Sort of you guys. Now, the locks, I like Jacko and all them, the nice guys and that, but they were talking about line outs and stuff. The props were my guys because but this is well before him. This is Con Barrell. This is Greg Somerville, Matt Sexton, Dave Hewitt, Mark Hammett. You go on and on. Probably forgetting guys, but Greg Feek. They were my sort of guys. Gym guys. Their job is to go into the dark places. So when I got respect from them around my scrummaging and that gave me some self-esteem around stuff. And a lot of things started to, because I've been sort of working away, I got a sort of connection in the team. So I was feeling better about myself, and it sort of matched my improvement with my skills, and my whole game started to improve.
Yeah, and did you enjoy the breakdown? How hard was that? Like smashing people at the breakdown was always one thing people sort of mention you about. Like, how hard was that technically, or was that just a mindset
thing? To
me,
that's a really good question. I haven't been asked this. I saw the breakdowns like when you're at primary school fractions.
Yeah.
You can't get it, and then one day you sort of, 1 over 2 is half, how a quarter, how's that? And then you sort of see it, you go, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
It's like that with the breakdown. But the breakdown, for me to go from someone who went to the breakdown, I remember half time in an NPC game, you had Toddy, I think he's a captain, great man. He's from Nelson region, Golden Bay, man. He said, just hit rocks. It sort of annoyed me because I'm like, just give me the ball, because in league we do hit-ups, 15 to 20 hit-ups.
Carries,
or you put a shot on or whatever. Why would I want to hit rocks? I'll go to them, but and when I go to rocks, they're sort of like bodies all over the place. Didn't really, they'd say hit rocks, but didn't really know where to put my head. You have a sore neck. It wouldn't feel good. And then it wasn't until where it became a weapon for me.
Yeah.
So I came over played 2001, had a year off, all sport in 2002. And then I played 2003, went to the World Cup and that, 2004. And then I went back to the league for 3 years.
Yeah.
Then I came back to the Crusaders, and it was like 4 years leading up to the World Cup,
Yeah.
right? But it wasn't until middle to the end of that 4th year, I'd gone
Really?
back to league, where all of a sudden, you know, this will be a good way for you to understand. Have you seen the movie Terminator?
Yeah.
You know when he's scanning people?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, you send all this information, and then he locks in on his guy,
Okay, yeah.
and it goes red, you know? All of a sudden, like, I was doing the breakdowns, reasonable, you know,
Yeah.
those years. But then it became like I would see like because I go to a ruck. You just got to stand there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
go to the next ruck, maybe a little bit in, whatever. And then I go to say a third or fourth right. Beep, 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 beep. There's a dude's body
Yeah.
or a guy with a ball. Bam! You know, fly in horizontal. And try and kill. You know, I'm there to kill in a nice way. Not actually kill, but kill.
Yeah. Hurt.
And all of a sudden the fractions, this becomes, so I just go around like a hunter in games, sort of like, no,
Yeah.
no, yes, bang.
Yeah.
And I never understood, we'd have the referees come around and they go, you got to keep your feet. If you're keeping your feet, you're not hitting hard enough.
Yeah.
I'll roll at it or whatever, but I'm not keeping my feet. I'm hitting. I'm sending physical messages to my opposition. You know what I mean? That's my job.
Yeah.
So I remember a guy, I think I was at the Highlanders and years, at the end of my career, we played in the Hurricanes or something, and I went flying in, hit a ruck. And the referee said to me, gave me a warning, you left your feet there. And, I'm like 38, 39, I'm renowned for hitting rucks. And Hori goes, he's been doing that his whole career, mate. You're not going to stop him now. And the ref just went, okay, play on. So, it's interesting. Like 4 years it took me to master that.
Yeah, far out.
And once I mastered it,
Terminator was loose.
I wanted to hit hard
Yeah.
because that's your job in our area. We're no good. Like for me, I'm not good if I'm. You want to be on this edge.
Mm.
If you're too fluffy and passive or whatever, you're no good.
Yeah.
If you're being an idiot and starting fights or whatever, you're no good. You're sort of on this edge where you are. It's about dominating. It's about. Like I said, you're sending messages and you have so much respect for, some of the sevens. I would know the good sevens around the world because, some guys move easier.
Yeah.
They say, sometimes they'll say, the guy's on the ball. You're not moving him. Trust me, everyone can be moved. That's what I'm telling you. Trust me.
I believe you.
Yeah. But, so that's false.
Yeah.
Everyone can be moved. It just depends on how hard or, But you'd have respect for guys because they keep turning up or they were hard to move or, or some guys were easier to move. So,
yeah, it's interesting. And you mentioned your sabbatical, like in the middle of your career. What were you, 27? Just decide to take a full year off.
Yeah.
Huge call.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like 27. So even if you count as I was playing men's first grade at 18.
Yeah.
So it was 18, 19, 20, another 6 years, 26. So 9 years. And then I had that year off. Come back at 28. So it's still like it would have been another 12 years. So it's pretty close to like a halfway mark. And I think that is part of, I felt like my body really freshened up.
Mm.
And mentally it was awesome because I was around other people who, not football people.
Yeah.
So it was really stimulating and, just realizing that just around balance because it just seems so important,
Yeah.
People
Did you have kids at
aren't
this
even
point?
reading that. They
Kids?
don't read the back page.
Yeah.
Some people.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, everything's on the line.
Yeah.
This is, so.
Did you have kids at this point?
No,
No.
no. I got married
Oh, you
that
got
year.
married at that
Yeah.
time. Oh, yeah, okay.
But a year later, we had a kid.
Straight to
I
work.
wasn't mucking around, yeah.
And there's that moment where you've been offered a opportunity to play for the All Blacks and you turn it down.
Mm.
Talk me through that one.
Just that was around, they sort of some people would try to, that's quite noble of him, he didn't feel he was ready and, um, giving someone else another chance. It wasn't like that. I wasn't sure. Yeah, I said I had that 1 year.
Yeah.
And then an option of 2 more. I think it would have been, I couldn't guarantee I was coming back.
Yeah, you set
Halfway
dates,
through, I mean?
Yeah.
You've got the footy side. You got, I told you, I became a Christian. I was just turning 23. So this is like, I was a work in, I am a work in progress to this day, So, but I need to get my house in order. And I did that. I went back and, my girlfriend was living in Brisbane and, I went and we got married that year and we traveled and did all sorts of stuff. And this will be 24 years married since then. And like I said, I gave up alcohol at 26. So yeah, there's different pieces, of my life. I'm just getting in the right space. And if you look throughout my career, I do all sorts of sort of crazy things when you think about it, even just coming to rugby or coming back to rugby again,
And then going back to league. So why did you go back to league?
Was
it always part of the plan?
That was, I felt like I achieved being, I felt like I played pretty well at the 2003 World Cup. We didn't get what we wanted, but, and I was turning 29. The next contract could possibly be my last one.
Yeah.
And I love the rugby. I love the guys and that, but the 90s were pretty cool, man. And I had my mates back there, the guys I played with, Petro, Shane Webke, these sort of guys. And I thought, and also the All Blacks didn't want me initially.
Oh, okay.
The new crew that came in, which was Graham and Shag, and they pretty quickly they got in touch throughout the Tri Nations. I think that we came last or something, but it was too late. I'd already spoken to Wayne, and he gave me a yell, and I went. It was good to go back, and I played 3 years out there.
Was it hard coming back?
Yeah, it was. I haven't had really anyone talk too much about that. It was challenging. I came back with a lot of belief, because I'd gone away and achieved that sort of with the rugby and stuff. But the distance goes back out to 10 meters, and a lot of Polynesian players sort of more coming to the game with late footwork and stuff. There's 2 less players on the field. It took me a while to get on top of my defense. The game had changed where there was limited interchange.
Oh, okay.
So I had to drop weight. I came back like 118 or whatever. I realized, gee,
too heavy.
Yeah, came down to 115, too heavy.
Yeah.
Ended up coming down to like 1, because I was Shane, Petro, and myself were like work rate guys. I wasn't just out on an edge, just doing occasional, we're in the middle working hard. It's a hard game, rugby league. And so to get down to that weight was hard for 3 years, man, to lose weight. I'd walk after dinner, and because I'm naturally a bigger guy.
Yeah.
I could go the other way.
Oh, true.
I've been as heavy as, close to 125,
All right.
And my post playing, I've got my weight down now, but it was hard. And the first year I came back, we made the finals, but from the year 2000 until 2005, after Origin, I'd hit a bit of a lull because there's a lot of Broncos in the team. and hadn't really been pushing through.
Mm.
And then we're no different. I wanted to make a difference, but we're no different in 2005. And I was pretty determined in 2006. And I had about 3 weeks off, and then I just started training my ass off. Only problem was it was about 5 months out from October through to March. I was like cooked by the start of the season. We did an army camp that year. It was called Camp Harden Up. I'd done a lot of army camps under Wayne. He loves them, and I sort of like loved it.
Yeah.
But this one was like usually it's one times when it was 1 day, but usually it's like 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
You can get through 3 days, but this was 6 days, and it was SAS guys, and it was a full on camp. So that was mixed in that 5 month of training. And I actually at the beginning of the year I got dropped to reserve grade for the first round. Almost broke me. I remember when the coach Wayne told me. I put 5 months of work in, and I went home and lay on the bed for about 2 hours because just lying there till I told my wife, because in my mind that doesn't even compute. I'm adding to the team, not taken away. And someone got injured and I played anyway. But yeah, halfway through, about 4 games in, I had like maybe a posterior, something was a bit niggly there.
Yeah.
And I had about 3 weeks where I just had to just rest it or something. And when I came back, that was the break that I needed. And I came back fizzing, and Ivan Henjak was a guy who came to the club. He really changed the way we played. Lead runners and jockey, sort of the start of all that. The Tigers had really done that in 2005. I don't know if you remember Benji and all them. When they won, they had lots of lead, and so the game had changed, and we sort of adapted, and we got a roll on, and we won there was a 4th title, so it was pretty cool. So yeah, basically the following year, we still made the finals, but we had a lot of injuries. But I was looking to finish up playing rugby league in the north of England, but there just wasn't a lot of love there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's what I considered. I'll go back and play a super season, and then I'll go over to Europe, but it'll be in my other trade.
Yeah. Oh, true. So then you come back to the Crusaders, and was this transition easier this time? Obviously,
this time it was like it was meant to be.
Yeah,
it was like almost like I got better.
Yeah.
I've been away for 3 years.
Got fitter.
Maybe that's what it was. There was quite a slight change to the game or something. I don't know. I was like lighter.
Yeah.
I was like about 114 kilos when I first come over, and then I naturally get back to my natural, my sort of natural size, around that 118.
Yeah.
And then Ali Williams came down. He was a mate that I got to know, and we had a pretty awesome team. Mossy Tuali was a beast.
Yeah.
Kieran Reid was a young guy come along, very talented.
Yeah.
Got to play with Summers one last season, Greg Somerville. You got all those guys, and we won the title.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. But within 3 games of being back, my manager, who's my cousin, he's a businessman, successful business guy, but he just helped me with my contracts. But we got a ring from New Zealand Rugby Union saying, will you sign for a year and a half? And then so we're okay, sure enough. Yeah, okay, I'll get on it. Because I was on a $90,000 contract to play for Super Rugby.
Yeah.
Wasn't a lot of money.
All right.
I just backed myself.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest thing, I do all these crazy different things. I always just back myself.
Yeah.
I haven't thought, what if I can't make it back again, or all these different things. I just, had belief and back myself and crack on in.
Yeah.
And then they signed me through to the World Cup.
Was there a moment in that Super Rugby final where you punch someone, or?
Yeah, it was a shocker. Unfortunately, the guys, he's passed away.
True, who was it?
Dan Vickerman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty sad around what happened with him. But
yeah.
he hit me late. like the ball moved on. It was like a cheap shot
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And, you know, I got rage,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he was sort of like in this next ruck, and I just come through, just a big
Yeah, yeah.
clack to the back of the head as I ran by. But the linesman saw it.
Yeah.
And anyway, we did this movement. The game was in the balance in 2008 against the Waratahs,
Yeah.
and this awesome led to White Crocker, who's just the best bloke, scored this amazing try. And guess what? It got called back because I hadn't responded, and I got sent to the bin. I remember sitting there in the Sinman in a grand final going, how is this happening?
Yeah.
What are you doing sitting here? You know, this isn't, my job. When I go to finals, I play well, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not, how could I have been so stupid to do that? Just got to be able to take that.
Yeah.
So, I sort of had a few lessons that year, like with rugby league, I was young and I was aggressive and playing my game. But when I played union rugby, because it's like a personal game to me, when they changed the rules in rugby, sometimes over years it's annoyed me. It's not it's not that I was like, you don't change my game. Who have you asked or who you?
Yeah.
It's a personal game. It's your family, New Zealanders,
Yeah.
So when I play rugby, later on after that, so that's in the final. We play the world champions. They won in 2007, the Springboks.
Yeah.
And 4 minutes into that test, a big melee breaks out because, I've picked up John Schmidt and dumped him. I'll come back to you about that. But I, probably could have I got suspended for a week. Could have been sent off or for 10 or whatever. But and then, I came back and my first action in the Bledisloe at Sydney was to head high, ghetto, and I got another 10 minutes,
Yeah.
So I actually had to give myself a bit of an uppercut. And like I said, I said you got to play on the edge, but too far either way, you're no good. And it was my ego, because you can say someone hits you late or something. Of course, you want to turn back and do something, but for the better, put the team first. Can you take that if it allows us to do your job and get on to win the game? Yeah. Because I was in that mindset of wanting to dominate, sort of like got that ego saying, I'm the king out here. Oh, you're gonna, I'm gonna, you're gonna get it, sort of thing. But that's putting me over the team. The team needs me just to keep discipline and move on. Do you know what I mean? And just hit hard, do your thing. So with the Springbok test, there's quite a bit that led up to that. It's quite funny, actually. Initially, when the All Blacks were named, this is 2008, the first All Black team named since the failure of the 2007. They did a review. Remember they did all that.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah.
And so Zinzan Brook came out in the media, who's a guy I love watching. He said we look like one of the weakest All Black teams he's seen. Michael Jordan always says in that the Last Dance, he says, I took that personally. I didn't take that well. I didn't take that well. But he's right. He's probably right. Guys. I go into that Springbok test was coming along. We played the English a couple of games, and the Springboks were world champions. And when I left, Victor and Buckies were like young guys and the 03 World Cup, but now they're, big time. I've been away in league or whatever. And going into that game, I had my, that morning, I had a real resolve around that game, and it was up to me to be, to get amongst it, and I played rugby league in the 90s against genuine tough dudes. So I wasn't really fazed by the Springboks, and I was, I guess, a bit older as well, my early to mid-30s. And then we went to the game, and Shay comes in and goes, as we're getting ready to warm up, oh, there's fireworks on the field at at the stadium, Caketon. Yeah, we have to warm up inside. And I was just like, are you serious? And I was filthy about it. I was saying, the entertainment's the test match. So you're stopping 2 test match, and the biggest test match, both teams aren't allowed to warm up because there's a fireworks for the fans. I was like, so by the time it made me ropeable, like I was, and then so by the time I went out there, the poor old fullback, she kicks it. The fullback runs it back, and it's about 4 minutes in the game. He runs down my channel like straight away. Even that I took personally. Don't run down my channel, mate. You're gonna get it. And I was gonna try and whack him because you basically Springboks.
Yeah.
This is long history, and you're saying they're always played hard. So, but Adam Thompson was sort of in my way.
Yeah.
So I just in league, you just put a shoulder there, which isn't, that's not good. You're supposed to wrap your arms, but so shoulder, as I came down, I brought some extras down with me, which was my forearm. And basically, I'm saying 2 things. I'm not saying come on my channel, but I'm saying welcome to New Zealand, mate. This is Springboks All Blacks.
Yeah.
This is part of it. And John Schmidt must have seen it, didn't sort of like it. He pushed my head down as I was getting up. And then when he did that, I just gone, just almost rage of almost pleasure. You're that angry, and I picked him up and dumped him. Then like a big sort of all-in came along, and I remember looking at it afterwards, Butch James threw one, and I give him credit because no one else did. And I thought, good on you, Butch. You threw, because everyone's all running around, and
he wasn't shy of one.
Yeah, so that was a bad haircut in the morning, and led up to that. But like I said, I had to learn from that, and like I said, I had to look at myself, and I tidied myself up, and tried to keep that focus of the team.
Did you work with Gilbert Anoka and all that sort of space around the mental side, or?
We talk about stuff. He's really good with that sort of stuff, but a lot of stuff that he'd talk about, because by the time I was there, it's like 14, 15 years of a career. He'd have terminology or whatever around. I go, oh, that's why I do this, or
you're already doing it.
Yeah, so he was very had a very good impact on the All Blacks, and when we he sort of led a couple of years in 2009, we went down 3-0 to the Springboks, and we sort of had a reassessment, and the coaches, the senior players, they brought us in, and we became together, and we would meet throughout the Super Rugby season 2010 and stuff, and plan and talk and focus on being more resilient and leading up to the World Cup. And he was a real driver in that, and a real big impact. And he'd been with the All Blacks for a long time, and he was with them right through 2015 as well. So he's got his book out. It'd be a good read, I imagine.
Yeah, and going into the 2011 World Cup, I guess that's the big moment for you. I've heard you say it was the pinnacle of all your sporting finals and events.
Yeah.
What was it like going into it?
If you put a World Cup next to, say, the Tri-Nations, it's not as hard.
Yeah.
Because you're flying to South Africa, you play them, you fly to Australia, and then Argentina came in. Nothing's harder than that comp, but the pressure, it's around once every 4 years. A team just has to turn up on a day. You might have beaten them for the last 4 years, You think about Wales, we never lost to Wales. In 2011, they were one tackle away from maybe being in the final against us.
Yeah.
They just need to turn up on one day. Who knows the world champions, you know what I mean? So there's just so much pressure around it. And my mindset was you got the round robin. It didn't massively interest me, except that you're building, but 3 grand finals in a row you had to win. And the mindset around that is in a grand final, you either win or you lose.
Mm.
It's over. And in the quarterfinal, you lose that, you're gone.
Yeah.
There's not another time or whatever. So treat that. Don't think about, you heard about in 207, there was a plan for the semi or something, which coaches have to have. I get all that. But, I'm just all in on turned out being Argentina.
Yeah.
And everything's on the line. And the reality is it is. Because, like I said, in 2007, you're on a plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
After a quarterfinal.
Yeah.
So that mindset shift was that was something I talked about with the guys, but and I thought, the guys prepared well. Ultimately, in the final, a lot of things weren't going great. I personally woke up feeling like crap in the morning and
Nerves or
no, it's just probably because I was on edge for 3 weeks solid.
Okay, yeah.
I was feeling sick, and I had some tablets and
Run it out.
Yeah. That was the voice. Yeah, I had you have two voices. I remember I was feeling like I was crouched in the shower in the morning, thinking I feel like crap, and this other voice said, "That's your problem. I don't want to hear about it." It's like you got like split personality. We're playing, so get whatever it is you have to get together, but we're playing.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And I felt better by kickoff, but Richie hadn't done much training. He'd do the captain's run, I think. He had his foot was in pain. We went down to our fourth number 10, so there was the pressure of having a home World Cup was all on us. Everyone wrote them off. The French was just so dangerous, and it was quite a flat sort of feeling game. It was a yuck sort of game, but the whole New Zealand public was with us. They felt the crowd felt the same way, but just to get that job done, mate, for me was a duty. I sort of felt to my country, to the original game of my country, and I could sort of get on with my life. It wasn't. I saw them in 215. They're all happy and going around. It was like car crash sort of. Feeling afterwards just of shock of just because it's so
relief.
Yeah, so much going in.
Yeah.
And my wife was in the stands, and she said she felt like going to the back of the stadium and throwing up because she knew what's on the line, So, good to have that done.
Did you get to enjoy it? Like you mentioned, you didn't enjoy many of your wins, but you weren't in the gym the next day with the Franks brothers, so I'm guessing you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I started to feel some joy the next day.
Yeah.
When I was at the big celebration, 250,000 in Auckland. Yeah. That's when I started to feel good about it. And then I didn't drink that year as well.
Yeah, okay.
Not that I was not a drinker at that stage, but it was just like this little extra mental thing that's just easy.
Yeah.
I just know I'd do whatever it took, no stone unturned. And then but we did parades in Wellington and Christchurch, and then on Thursday night, we had to pack our house. So me and my wife are just knackered because she's had the kids. I've been 4-year build into a World Cup. We're arguing. We're tired. We're up at 3 in the morning in the movers, and then we're off to Japan on the Friday or Saturday. And then a week later, 13 days after World Cup, I'm somewhere near in the north of Japan, near the nuclear meltdown, getting beat by an average team. Just going, because I'd signed to play 2 seasons in Japan.
That's right, Sanix, wasn't it?
I was just in a 1-bedroom place over there, just going like, what the heck, within 3 weeks, they were my guys, and I was just all in for them.
Yeah,
so,
it's the beauty of sport though, like being able to go to Japan, you went to Leinster, all these places around the world, you meet all these awesome people, you come really connected with them, they're friends for life, some of them. And I'm keen to talk a little bit about coaching as well, because post-footy you do get into your coaching and the challenge of the balance of coaching while you've got 4 kids and how you managed your whole time at the Reds, especially being the head coach.
Yeah, it was... I didn't know what I was going to do necessarily when I finished, and I was looking at playing at 40. That was my last goal,
Yeah.
you know, and I was at the Highlanders, and they were. Jamie was saying, you could do coach the gym and do, some forward stuff.
Yeah.
But I wanted to play, and I approached the Reds because I thought, I'll go back, start to network, and I love playing I love Queensland. It's my home after I was from Otago, but to get to play in Queensland might be cool. But they'd used all their foreign guys, so I ended up going to Leicester. This Cockerell is the coach. He's a good guy. Love my time in Leicester. Just got amongst it over there.
Yeah,
One last stand,
yeah.
And then, but he said, if you go over there, come back, we have a role for a forwards coach with the academy under 20s.
Oh, cool.
So I thought, I've done all this coaching. I played this game for 20 odd years. Sure, I can coach 17-year-olds. So I came back, and we had some pretty good success. They were undefeated for 2 years, the under 20s, in the sort of Australian comp. And then I coached they have a thing like the I-Team Cup called the NRC. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And we went from last to first.
Oh, jeez.
We won that we had a young team and a lot of my 20s and that. Basically, the Reds are $9 million in debt. They've been having different coaches and stuff. And I think I was maybe like a Hail Mary sort of, this guy might be crazy enough to do it, and they didn't have any money to pay, big time coaches, and they approached me. I didn't apply for the job.
Oh, you just got approached.
Yeah. Would you be, there was a review that happened, and they'd seen what I guess I'd done for the first couple of years, and would you be interested in having a crack? And because I had that connection with the young guys, I told you I'm protective and invest in them, and I thought bring them through and have a crack. At that time, no Australian team had beaten a New Zealand team like 24 games or something. Do you remember there was that?
Yeah, there's a run.
Yeah, and I just thought, surely I can't do any worse. You know what I mean? So I don't have any qualifications, but I'm not necessarily a coach. I'll contribute. I'll just get a bucket of goodness and keep pouring it in, So I took it on, and it's the hardest thing I ever did. The league to rugby was the hardest up until then. But then just the whole package is, there's so much going on, staff and players and managers and media and academies and managing up, the board, managing down, and there's a reason why they gave me a go. Like we were down the bottom sort of end of the Australian teams, and so it wasn't just like going to be easy. So but that first year, I don't know if we won one game. Our first slogan that year was one word: fight. Because I thought if people from Queensland come to watch this team, their hard-earned money, whatever talent we have, whatever what capabilities we have, when they pay hard money, in the Queensland jersey, they need to see that you're going for it. Sometimes there might have been a bit of word that it looked like they'd sort of give up or whatever at different times or something. So we won more games than we'd won in 5 years.
Far out.
Yeah, since 2013, I think. And it was only 6.
Yeah.
But we were the youngest team in the comp for about 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Because I brought the guys through. And my mindset was take them through. And I don't mean just in Australia to be the best in Super Rugby, because that's just the way you think, Not necessarily a reality at the time, but I'm not going to not think that, or leave the place in a better place for the next guy. Sort of like, the jersey.
Yeah.
Leaving it. And then a couple years in, it was tough. So many times I slept.
Did you enjoy it? Or?
It was tough. It was an enjoyment of just a fight.
Yeah.
The way I used to think, like the saying Shane Webke used to like, bite off more than you can chew, than chew like crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like it's not a 9 to 5. It's always, because you're always forward thinking. I wake up at 3, I'm thinking about stuff. There's just so much,
Yeah, yeah.
And I cared a lot because I first represented Queensland as a 12-year-old in AFL. I played for Queensland in rugby league. Now this is rugby union. I'm representing Queensland. The jersey means a lot to me. I've grown up there since I was 9 years old, So it's not just another jersey or, I'm all cards in. That's how I've always been. And, we had the COVID and then we had our own sort of games going on, but we'd play the New Zealand sides later.
Yeah.
We got to a point where we were the number 1 team. We won it.
Won the Aussie
we
Cup.
came second, and then the first year and the second year we won it.
Yeah.
And we had like 42,000 at Suncorp, which was huge for rugby.
Yeah.
We did these things where I'd send players all out around the state in the pre-season and Reds the Regions, we called it, and just engage rugby and all this sort of stuff. And then the biggest thing was 4 years in after I won that, should I move on to a better place or see if I can take it further? I thought, I'll see if I can take it further. And then this next couple of years, we probably had mixed results.
Yeah.
And we just scraped into 8th out of 12. Pretty crazy. Thanks for that. We acquitted ourselves well when we played the Crusaders.
Yeah.
It was like 25 to go, 20 to go. It was like a couple points in it. Then they moved away from us, as they do. A good team does. The last year we played the Chiefs and 5 to go was like 2 points in it, 1st versus 8th. So, it was 6 years of solid grind, and I gave my all, and it was time to hand it over to someone else. Those kids came in, and I've sort of had a break where for me to keep coaching at that level, I need to leave, go somewhere else in Australia or overseas.
Yeah.
But I got my 4 kids. We brought them back after my flight, Leicester. And I'm not going to be one of those guys just moving my kids around.
Yeah.
So, I've been coaching first 15, doing a bit of other stuff, a few things here and there. And it's been good having a bit of a breath. Because it's like 30 years of just from 17, bang.
Awesome.
And then you're like 48, just going,
Nice to have some time with the kids. And
because sometimes when I was in that time, this would be something for you to think about, mate, is I was with the kids, but was I really with them? Was I actually, how would you describe that?
Present.
Both.
Yeah.
Because I'm hanging out, but I'm
You've got a lot of work to do in the background. You're not fully focused because you've got to
calls, you're on high.
Get off the
phone. There's no break, all this sort of stuff. So the thing I'd say to you, mate, is you get this one time with your kids and it goes fast. And whenever you hear about, they talk about doctors, what are the last words a lot of people will say? Oh, I wish I'd spent more time with the thing. So you don't have to be a 70-year-old man now that says that. You go back to now, you go, right, thanks for that. I'm going to make this is the priority. And I used to say at the Reds with the team and the staff, family comes first.
Yeah.
Top priority. And I mainly said, it was for them, but it was also for me, trying to, keep myself accountable.
Yeah. Well, we do go to our Instagram for some questions.
Yep.
Got thousands coming for you. We won't go through all of them because we're getting a bit short of time.
That's right.
But the first question, lots of people were asking around how other players would go in the other code. So a few examples, Jerry Collins.
Yeah.
How do you reckon he would have gone at rugby league?
So Jerry, I played a game with the All Black Classics. Against Toulon, just a memory of him. I really liked Jerry. We used to sit near each other in 03 in the All Black bus, and we'd talk league. He'd be like 1 or 2 in front of me, and he loved the Broncos, loved Gordy, and that. I think he'd go really good. run hard. Remember what I said about a 6?
Yeah.
Run harder, hit harder.
He certainly did that.
Yeah.
Well, Gordon Tallis was another one. How would he have gone at Union, you think?
I could like Shane Webke would have been an awesome loose head or tight head
Oh, yeah.
prop,
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
opinion. When I first met him as a young guy, he's 121 kilo.
Yeah.
He had to strip weight when he's a young guy.
Yeah, okay.
So he could be a big guy. Petro Silva would be a good 6 or an 8.
Oh, yeah.
Gordy would be, once again, I think a perfect 6.
Yeah. Run hard, hit hard.
Possibly an 8 as
Yeah.
well, I'm not sure.
Dan Carter, how would he have gone at league?
Thrived.
Oh, yeah.
What the difference, the Dan Carter of league is Darren Lockyer,
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
the difference between them is about 8 to 10 kilos.
Yeah, okay.
Dan's a bigger guy. And
Physical, didn't
so
mind
they're
it.
both like Darren Lockyer from Roma Way country. Dan's from Bogan from Southbridge. Made sure I got that in there. So the country boys, both quite strong in the gym. I think Dan benched like 145 for 3 or something. I know Lockie might have done a 150. Quite surprising for the sort of size, but both good kicking game, all that, quieter guys, but didn't mind a party.
Yeah.
But the difference with Dan was his size. He was a good defender, tough defender, get over the ball. That's what made him, to me, the complete sort of player.
Yeah.
But with Lockie, wasn't really his strength, was defence.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Didn't love the physical side.
And Dan could, power through, palm through.
Yeah.
So
What about Jonah? How would he have gone at league?
Oh, he would have, I'd say he would have thrived. We trained pretty hard and, you hear about his training and stuff, but I'm sure he would have been an amazing neck. But, I remember Wendell used to look across at Jonah and, see that, you'd like to go across and, you compete against these guys.
Yeah.
Big Dell, I don't know if you remember Big Wendell.
Yeah.
Big, powerful. Love playing with Wendell. I can only imagine Jonah would have thrived.
Well, Wendell did do the cross, didn't he? Obviously.
Yeah, and he did pretty well. He's on the end of the line. Probably wasn't as natural a player as, say, Lottie and guys and Matt Rogers. But he was special when I got a lot of love for the big man and the Dell.
Yeah.
Self-nicknamed, which is wonderful, eh? I love it.
So, good way to...
He used to, Luke Prentice was a hooker in the late 90s. He comes up to me, he goes, Thorny, it's killing me. Because he's behind you as you're playing the ball and stuff. All the chat out of Dell when he's carrying, you can't handle the Dell. He'd be saying, guys on him, get this in, whatever, the Dell's too strong, whatever. So
you used to love it outside back who would carry hard, didn't you? I remember you always talking about Carmichael Hunt and the way he carried off the back fence and those
when you're doing
games.
the work, the guy like a 10, like Dan Carter get you out of trouble.
Yeah.
Or Mertz, pump it, and you're back down their end. A forward pack will play for a 10. It's not just a position, or they can get their hearts broken by a 10.
Yeah.
It decides to do, a triple cutout pass on your own 22, all sorts of pressure. So same with the fullback. Guys like Liam McDonald, just a warrior.
Yeah.
And Carmichael, guys who it's important to them to get it back for you. They run hard, they get it back. In league, we would see a win getting to the 30 metre because by the time we do our set of 6, we're doing an attacking kick. You get like guys running sideways and carrying on, and you're paying all these dudes in the middle. You don't appreciate that. So for Carmichael was a kamikaze pilot.
He was.
So just a warrior and as brave as you see. Leon McDonald would be close there as well. I once had I'll just quickly tell you, I was in a game, it might have been against the Force, and I'm in a ruck, and against the Force is there, and Southern hits me from behind that. I do core work, a strong guy, puts a ripple through me, almost buckles me. I go, far out. Anyway, get on with the game. In the Monday analysis, I go through my game. I go, what the heck hit me? Who was that? And I look on the video and it's Liam McDonald comes flying in, just hits me, and I go forward and like sort of knock the thing over. I go, have a look at this guy. I'm like, how good? And I go up to Leon. I go, after that, I go, Leon, mate, you hit me like a Mack truck. Like, what was going on there? He said, oh, this guy in the force had annoyed him.
Yeah.
And he was trying to get him. So he went through me to get him. He was prepared. Leon Madonna was prepared to hit me to get to them. And I loved it. I just loved it. Yeah. I have one last thing to say on that was like, they're the guys you want to play next to. It's just so good. He's prepared to go through me to hit them.
Yeah.
But
okay, get him to tell the story. He had to kill a chicken with his bare hands.
Yeah, on a camp. It was that Camp Harden Up.
Oh, it was that camp?
Yeah, 6-day camp, and some of the guys who were with the Australian team were still away. Maybe Petro, Webby. I just sort of come back to the league, and so we did like 2 days of just where you don't get food deprived, sleep deprived, and you're just getting pumped, just doing mindless things in a bush out of the street. You got snakes and all sorts of crap, ticks, all sorts of. There was so many mozzies. It was like constantly just guys are going crazy. It's like going like because we're in this forest. It was foul, stinking hot.
Yeah.
Think about it in summer. And anyway, I was with my crew of guys. I'd done lots of army camps, so I was used to a lot of stuff. But these guys was another level. They're SAS guys. We were called by our number only.
Oh, yeah.
All this sort of stuff. The club had handed us over. We're in their hands. Yeah. Anyway, after a couple of days, they said, "You guys do this. We're going to have chicken tonight." And we go, "Yeah, we did this." It might have been a scaling height or something.
Yeah.
And there's some guys scared of heights and that. So, yeah, we got it done, yeah. And we went and had this area, and a bit of time, we're feeling a bit good about things. We have chicken, and then this guy comes walking in with 2 live chickens by the, holding them by the legs. And the guys are going, in our group, there might have been about 9 or 10 guys. And they go, what's going on here? It's like, this is old school, actual chickens. Anyway, I've done a lot of shooting, hunting and that, come back to New Zealand. And Ben Hannett, you remember that?
Yeah.
He'd grown up doing stuff. And you got Sam Thorny, he's from Yam Island, Torres Strait. They hunt turtles, dugong, all this sort of stuff. So out of us 3, we still looked at the chooks and went, yeah, that's good. Fair enough. We're still having chicken, But about half the group say we don't want to have. We don't want them to be killed.
Yeah,
the chooks. And one of them laid his last egg as he was walking the chook. And then there was a couple of guys, might have been Sean Berrigan, whatever, said they wanted the chickens to be killed so we could eat them, but just didn't want to do it. And then you had me and Sam Thorny. So we got the chickens each, and when I've shot rabbits, if they're wounded, the right thing to do is to put them out of their misery.
Yeah.
So when you have a rabbit, you hold them by the legs, you just pull their neck to the side and the head down.
Yeah.
It just breaks the neck, and which is humane sort of thing. You don't just leave something lying there. So, I've shot a lot of rabbits and stuff, and every now and then you have to do that. But so I had the chook, and I never really killed a chook before. And this poor old chook, I had its legs, and I'm like turning its neck. But you probably had chooks, have you? They've got all these little vertebrae.
No.
And they can sort of just go,
spin their head like
this poor thing's go like this. And I'm going, oh, no, this is, sorry, mate. I'm like, sorry, mate. Trying to twist his neck. He just kept on twisting. I look over my sort of peripheral over my left shoulder. Sam's behind me, and this chicken's head goes flying through the air. Okay, I get it. And their head just popped off. I know it sounds pretty gruesome, but I just popped his head off. Okay, now I know how to take it. And here's the funny thing was, if we were smart, we would have just, we got to some hot water, and we probably would have just dunked it and then taken the feathers off, we would have had the fat, but we skinned it. Ben Hannett was good at he skinned it. And anyway, long story short, we got the chicken. Guess what? Everyone wanted to eat the chicken.
Not surprised.
Yeah, but it tasted pretty flavorous. But yeah, it was just a lesson, because you go into the supermarkets, don't you? And I guess a lot of city folk just think, it just comes in these packages. But
the reality.
Yeah. So it was good fun.
It's classic. Okay, last question. Best piece of advice for a Woodlad listener?
Can I say just a couple that go together?
Can say as many as
Stay humble.
Yeah.
Stay humble. That's strength. When you're humble, you're open to listening and learning and growing. When you're proud, you're sort of inward by nature. You know best.
Yeah.
Be humble and just know that, like for me as a 40-year-old, I still wanted to learn, so your whole life, that's one of the joys of life. Aside from that is, that the reward for effort, which is, it was a primary school motto that my dad liked on my school. That he said to me, so things don't just get handed to you. It requires effort. And that's, again, one of the joys of life, just throwing a kitchen sink at something. And the greater the effort, often the greater the reward. Not always, but the reward sometimes is just knowing, even if you don't get the thing, you threw it, you're all at it. Yes. The worst thing is sitting there thinking, I could have given more. I could have done. That would be what I'd say. Stay humble. It's a position of strength. It's not weakness, it's strength. And that reward for effort. The greater the effort, the greater you'll often be rewarded.
Yeah, well, you're a pretty good example of that with the effort that you've put in throughout your career and the rewards that you've had on the other side of it as well.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's been really cool having a chat, buddy.
Mate, it's awesome to get you on, and obviously the book, Brad Thorn, Champions Do Extra, #1 seller across Australasia at the moment. Mate. You're on fire. So it is a great book, and my youngest kid actually loves it. He always wants to pick that book up and look straight at the pictures. Point to all the balls. But it is a great book. Nice. Mate, it's been awesome getting you on and going through your story. You're a true legend of the game. And like I said at the start, everyone's got their Brad Thorn stories. You've had a massive influence on, I know, the Crusader environment, Leinster environment, and the Tasman marker environment, and that week you're in there, mate.
It was an honour to wear that jersey, mate. And it was a tough day, but we gave it so.
Mate, but I appreciate you coming on. You're a legend.
Oh, thanks, mate. Too kind, James, and I appreciate your time, mate. I wish you and the podcast and your family well, mate.
Mate, you're a good man.
Cool.
Legend. Well, there you have it. Thanks to Betcha for bringing you this episode. If you enjoyed it, please let me know what you thought of it in the comments.